I've seen them just harass like crippled people before. Take that out. Don't slander the TSA on the internet, Rhett. What's up, YouTube? It's Rhett back at it again with another video, and today we are going to talk about my credit card strategy for traveling in 2021. I'm really hoping that traveling comes back in a major way in 2021. I, like most of you, did not get to travel very much this year because of the cooties that were going around. I'm excited to get back to stacking up points, getting free flights, staying in nice hotels. And we actually used this strategy back in 2019, my girlfriend and I, to stay in the Prince de Gaulle luxury hotel in Paris on Champs-Élysées. Oh, what a wonderful place. 1,300 euros a night. I never would have been able to afford any of this stuff without hotel and travel points. So if you watch all the way through to the end of this video, you're gonna see the exact strategy that I use to live way above my means when traveling, getting free experiences, free hotels, free flights, all of that great stuff. You're gonna see the strategy that I use to do it, and it revolves around just 3 credit cards. Additionally, if you're just getting started building credit, some of these credit cards are probably a little too advanced for you, so I'm gonna be giving advice throughout the video and towards the end, a total overview of what you should be doing to get started building credit and which of these cards you could get started using right away. So if you're excited to travel again like I am, go down below, smash the like button, and let's get into it. First card, Chase Sapphire Reserve, card number 1. Ooh, big boy card. Fancy, metal, titanium. Mine is starting to peel a little bit. Kind of annoying. I use it a lot. It's my favorite card. The Chase Sapphire Reserve this year upped their annual fee to $550, which is a lot of money, but you get a $300 travel credit every year, which effectively takes your annual fee down to $250. Additionally, until June 30th, 2021, they're allowing you to use the travel credit. The travel credit will apply to grocery purchases and gasoline purchases. So there's basically no reason that you shouldn't be able to max out this travel credit in that period of time. You're definitely gonna buy $300 of groceries in the next 6 months. Hopefully, if you're eating out that often, you should really go buy groceries. It's a lot cheaper. You save a lot of money and it's healthier. I care about you. The main feature of this card is that it gives 3 times points back on travel, dining, and now grocery stores during the pandemic. Some of the side benefits, some that they added this year as well, are DoorDash Dash Pass, which is really great for when you are not getting groceries and you're getting people to deliver food to your house. It's a great way to save time. 10 times back on Lyft and premium Lyft memberships. I think it's called Lyft Pink. And that's basically reason enough to switch over from Uber to Lyft for those 10 times points back. That's pretty big. And then the 2 huge travel benefits that seem to be staples of all high-end credit cards at this point, Priority Pass and Global Entry. Priority Pass is great because at select airports, and there actually aren't that many, so it's a little hit or miss, but when it does hit, when you get a good Priority Pass lounge at your airport, awesome experience. When I was flying out of Orlando, there's a great Priority Pass lounge in Orlando. I was able to go there, get free food, and sit somewhere and have my own table and area that, to be honest, you're just not gonna get at a gate. Right? When you're at a gate, it can oftentimes be very crowded. You have to stand up. It can be very loud and overwhelming. Getting into one of these Priority Pass lounges, if there's one at the airport near you, really helpful just from a mental perspective to sort of calm yourself down. It can sometimes, if you're in an airport for too long, it can feel like you're a rat trapped in a cage, and Priority Pass is that sweet, sweet exit from the rat race for some brief solitude. Get some food or relax. Priority Pass, very good. And then TSA Precheck / Global Entry. If you're leaving the country a lot, Global Entry, you're definitely gonna want it. If not, if you're just traveling domestically, TSA Precheck, it's huge. After having used TSA Precheck for so long, I really see the difference now in going through a normal line. I think the TSA people actually treat you not like a human being when you are going through a normal line. I've seen them straight up harass people before, and it's really obnoxious, and I've actually never seen them do anything like this when you're going through the pre-check line. So, even if I didn't get this benefit for free from the Chase Sapphire Reserve, I would definitely re-up on the TSA pre-check as often as I need to, just because I really think that they treat you better and like a human being most of the time in the pre-check line. They're courteous. I've really just had horrible experiences, to be honest, in the normal TSA line, and every time I forget to put the TSA check on my boarding pass, it's just a atrocious experience. So that's a whole host of great benefits from this card, and especially in the first year, the Global Entry credit, the travel credit, the Lyft membership, and the DoorDash membership are all basically going to pay for your membership fee, the $550 annual fee on the card. If they start to take away any of those privileges, it could be a dicier situation, right? You might end up paying $250 a year for services that you don't totally use. This is definitely the highest end card on the list, so I wanted to get it out of the way first. It is the place that gets me the most points, and it is the card that I use most often, but it's definitely not for everyone. If you're not traveling all the time, if you can't take advantage of the 3 times points on travel, dining, and groceries now, it might not be for you. If you are traveling a lot though, the real reason that I really love this card is that when I travel, I'm not usually taking the same airline over and over again, so it doesn't really make sense for me to get an American Airlines card or a Delta card or a United card, because sometimes I'll fly United one way, JetBlue on the way back, Delta out, American in, Frontier, Spirit. I'm going to a lot of different airlines, and I want points and credit for all of those flights that I'm taking. The downside to this is that I never get status on any of those airlines because I'm not flying any one of them enough, but what I am getting is points to use in Chase's booking portal. And when you book flights through Chase's booking portal with the points that you earn from the Chase Sapphire Reserve, you actually get a 50% bonus in the exchange rate of points to dollars. So normally 50,000 points would be about $500. If you book through the portal, your 50,000 points is going to be $750. This is great because the flights that are available through the portal are not just one airline, right? You're not locked into, I have to fly Delta, because if you're in an area that Delta doesn't really serve, you'd be out of luck, right? The perks of the booking portal is that you can book any flight that Chase has available. It's not going to be every flight that exists, but I used it for the first time back in February before Cooties went global to fly down to Puerto Rico for a bachelor party. When I went to book that flight, it was actually a multi-trip flight, so I think I took off from a client site that I was working at, flew to Florida to take off to Puerto Rico, to come back to Philadelphia actually, because I was living up in Philadelphia at the time. So it was a really roundabout, chaotic flight. The Chase booking portal was able to handle it flawlessly. Price was the same as I would have gotten on Google Flights. Not to say that every flight will be the same price as Google Flights through the booking portal, but my experience has been, people worry, I get the 50% bonus from the points, but are the Chase booking flights more expensive? In my experience, they were not more expensive. It was the same price. That was going to be a really expensive flight. That was going to cost me $600 or $700 because of the weird airports and the weird route that I had to take. And so I'm really glad that I had those points built up and that I was able to exchange them at a 50% bonus rate through the Chase booking portal. So haven't gotten to use it too much because I like to hold on to the points for a rainy day like that. But the experience that I've had spending those points has been phenomenal. And so I really recommend this card if you do travel a lot. Additionally, you could use this card for hotels because hotels will fall under that 3% travel category. But I'm actually going to recommend that you use a separate card for hotels, and that is card number 2. Card number 2, this is an old version of the card. I believe it is now called the Marriott Bonvoy Boundless card. I got that before Marriott merged with SPG and became Bonvoy. If you can't find it, I will have links for all of these cards in the description, so if you want to sign up for any of them, the links will be down there. The Marriott Bonvoy Boundless has a $95 annual fee, but what you get in exchange for that annual fee is a free night up to 35,000 points, which is sort of like the standard hotel rate at a Marriott. So you get one night at sort of a standard middle of the road Marriott property, which usually in my experience will cost anywhere between $120 and $150 a night. So you're actually saving between $35 and $50 just by getting the card and paying the annual fee, because the annual fee is likely going to be less than whatever that one night of the hotel stay is. So that's sort of how I justify the cost of this card. I think even if I wasn't staying at hotels all the time, I would just get this card, throw it in a drawer, never use it, and use that once per year stay at a Marriott property. Just because, once a year, you're probably going to stay at a hotel or want to stay, or it would be convenient with your travel plans if you could stay at a hotel. So I think this card is sort of a no-brainer if you plan on traveling at all. And then the other reason that you'll get it is that it gives you actually 5 times points back at Marriott properties. And so while the Chase Sapphire Reserve is really good at booking flights and getting free flights, the Marriott card is really good at building up your Marriott status. And once you get to higher and higher levels of Marriott status, you get more and more points and you get more and more perks that you can redeem at Marriott properties. For example, when we were in Paris at the Prince de Gaulle, we used Suite Night Awards, which is a perk that you get at different levels of Marriott status. I think they give them to you at Gold and Platinum status. We used the Suite Night Awards and were able to get a free upgrade on our room. And I was only able to do this because I had been paying for hotels at work with this card. If I was using the Chase Sapphire Reserve, I wouldn't have been able to book this hotel because I wouldn't have had enough points. And you might be thinking that this sort of goes against the logic that I just presented for the Chase Sapphire Reserve, where I was telling you the Chase Sapphire Reserve is great because you're not locked to a single airline, whereas if you use this Marriott card, you're not going to be able to stay at Hilton's, right? You are going to want to stay at a Marriott when you can. I think the difference is that not every airport is going to have the flight carrier available that you want, whereas most of the places that I've traveled in the country, you have the choice between Hilton and Marriott. I personally really like Marriott. I'm sure Hilton is just as good. And if there is a Chase Hilton card or an Amex Hilton card, I'm sure that's just as good. What you really want for the second slot is a card that's going to get you a lot of hotel points and hotel status. Because once you reach those higher levels of status, that's where you're really going to be able to take advantage of free nights in different places and room upgrades and just continuing to accumulate more and more points. You do accumulate more points at higher levels of status in hotel chains, at least in Marriott. So we've talked about airlines, we've talked about hotels. Now let's talk about what is sort of the catch-all card. What is the card that you can use for random other purchases? You know, not all the purchases in your life are going to be related to travel, right? So how can you take some of those other random miscellaneous purchases and use them for points towards travel? Additionally, this next and final card is going to be really great for anyone who's just starting out building up credit. This next card is the Chase Freedom. The Chase Freedom has no annual fee. The gimmick to the card is that every quarter there's a new rotating 5% back category. Right now, the 5% rotating category is Walmart and PayPal. So it's been that for the last 3 months, and then in January it will change to something else. I don't typically use Walmart or PayPal that often, so this card can sort of be hit or miss based on which quarter you're in and based on what the rotating category is at the time and whether or not you use that. But sometimes they have really great rotating categories like Amazon.com, which is a great time to start doing specific shopping to whatever that rotating category is. Another one that they have that I like a lot is gas stations, just because this Chase Sapphire Reserve and the Marriott card, they aren't giving you any extra points at gas stations. And so it's helpful to have something that bridges the gap there. Upcoming in quarter one of 2021, so from January to March, they're going to have some tricky categories here. So you're going to have internet, cable, and phone services plus streaming services. These are sort of tricky and kind of a trap and a little reason just to be aware and to be wary when you're using this card. Those are recurring purchases, and so you're not going to get the 5% back once March is over. Right? Once that first quarter is over, you're no longer going to get the 5% back on those internet streaming purchases because the category will have switched to something else. And so you sort of have to be aware of, all right, do I want all of these purchases on my internet and streaming device all year if I'm only getting the bonus for the first 3 months? So just something to be aware of. You will still get points. It'll just be 1 times point per dollar instead of 5. So not a reason to completely stop using the card, but just something to be aware of if you're concerned about why didn't I get the same number of points in April that I did in March. So like I said earlier, I don't use this card as much as I use the Chase Sapphire Reserve, which I use for pretty much everything, or the Marriott Bonvoy card. But this card is really helpful in those niche situations where you don't have, like I don't have a card that's going to give me 5% back on Amazon. I don't have a card that's going to give me 5% back on streaming services. So if you can take advantage of those offers, of those deals, you can then transfer your points from the Chase Freedom over to the Chase Sapphire Reserve. And that's what's really great about this Chase Freedom card, is that you can take the few points that you make there and move them over to the Chase Sapphire Reserve and then do your 50% travel bonus booking with Chase. And that's also what makes this Chase Freedom card a really great card to intro yourself into this whole ecosystem of 3 cards that I've presented here. If your credit score isn't high enough to get you a Chase Sapphire Reserve right away or a Marriott Bonvoy card right away, you can definitely start with the Chase Freedom and then build up credit over a long period of time, maybe a year. Maybe you're putting your purchases on the Chase Freedom. And then at the end of the year, when you're ready to get the Chase Sapphire Reserve, or maybe at the end of 2 years, however long it takes you to get your credit score high enough to get the Chase Sapphire Reserve and to justify it in your life, maybe you're not traveling that much. Once you get the Chase Sapphire Reserve, you can take all the points that you had saved from building credit on the Chase Freedom this whole time and just move it over to the Chase Sapphire Reserve. And then you can get those sweet, sweet Chase booking flights. Oh, 50% extra points per dollar. So good. That'll be you. After you intro yourself with the Chase Freedom, build up to the Chase Sapphire Reserve, and then fly anywhere in the whole world that you want. The world is your oyster. This is so great Free flights? What? Even if you're not just getting started, I think this is a good card to have around just because of the odd 5% deal that will come up. Some months or some quarters, it is really useful. And there is no fee associated to holding this card, so it's sort of a no-brainer. So if you're looking to build up this credit card stack for yourself, if you're looking to get into travel hacking, if you're looking to maximize the most out of the dollars that you spend so that you can go take really nice vacations that you might not have been able to afford otherwise, I think the way to get into this stack is to first get the Chase Freedom, build up your credit a little bit and get some points on the Chase Freedom, and then hop into the Marriott Bonvoy card. You're gonna get that free night in the hotel, and that's basically gonna pay for the annual fee of the card. And then once you're ready, once you can justify it, jumping on and getting the Chase Sapphire Reserve, the points back are really great, especially if you travel and eat out a lot. And then also now if you eat in a lot, right? This is just turned into the food card with the 3 points back on groceries. So that's the order I'd recommend, especially for beginners. You're gonna do the Freedom first, then the Marriott Bonvoy card, and then the Chase Sapphire Reserve. And that is gonna let you get a lot of points back on a lot of different travel related things, get free flights, get free rooms, get free room upgrades, the whole shebang. You're gonna be traveling to some really cool places if you use this strategy. So that's it. If anything was confusing or if you have any questions about any of the cards that we talked about in this video, go ahead and leave those questions in the comments. I do respond to all of the comments. And then check the description if you need links for any of these cards. All of that and the information will be in the description down below as well. Like the video if you made it this far and if you learned something, and then subscribe and come back here every Monday at 10 a.m. Eastern to learn more about tech, money, and success. Do you want to succeed? Of course you do. Do you want to live in the 21st century with lots of technology? Of course you do. Do you want lots of money? Who doesn't? Come back here, level up your brain. I love you all. Goodbye.